Time now for some business news, joined on the set by Catherine Bennett. Hello to you, Catherine.
Hi.
Beginning first with U.S. officials having had meetings with the OECD to discuss a thorny topic, a global minimum tax rate. What is the White House proposing?
Well, the Biden administration is now calling for a 15% global minimum tax on multinational corporations. That's down from a previous objective of 21%. Now, the aim is to stop profit shifting, that is, large corporations declaring profits in other countries where tax rates are lower. But Washington needs the rest of the world to do the same, or it risks making the US an uncompetitive place to do business, as Camille Nedelec reports.
Pushing ahead with a corporate tax revamp slated for this year, the United States lowered its sights from a 21% minimum global tax to a more achievable 15%. The reform would stop American companies from moving profits between different subsidiaries to whichever country has the lowest tax rate. The OECD estimates that governments worldwide lose almost 200 billion euros a year due to the practice. In a statement on Thursday, the US Treasury emphasized the harm that the strategy has done to countries around the world.
With the global corporate minimum tax functionally set at zero today, there has been a race to the bottom on corporate taxes, undermining the United States and other countries' ability to raise the revenue needed to make critical investments.
The Biden administration will likely face domestic pushback, as well as abroad, such as in Ireland. Dublin is a regional tech hub thanks to the country's corporate tax rate of 12.5%, one of the lowest in Europe. If the US increases taxes, it could make the EU more attractive. So the US needs other countries to get on board.
Together, we can use a global minimum tax to make sure the global economy thrives based on a more level playing field in the taxation of multinational corporations and spurs innovation, growth, and prosperity.
The European Commission is hoping to unify taxation across the bloc, and the OECD is set to address the idea of a global corporate tax next month.
Well, last day of the trading week, how are the markets looking?
Well, it was a mixed open in Europe this morning. The FTSE was on the flat line, but the CAC 40 and the DAX both rose around 0.33%. Over in Asia, it's been quite subdued as well. The Nikkei is up over 0.75%, but the Chinese stocks are seeing a dip. The Shanghai Composite is down over 0.5%, and the Hang Seng Index hovering on the flat line. In Seoul, the Kospi has dipped to 0.8%.
Now, we've spoken before about the way that the COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted economic inequality and in particular has affected women more than men. Now, the director of the International Monetary Fund says that the policymakers should use this crisis as an opportunity.
Absolutely. Kristalina Georgieva said at a forum on Thursday the governments need to take advantage of the recovery from the pandemic to deal with gender inequality once and for all. And that means fundamentally changing the way they work by putting in place measures such as gender-responsive budgeting, adapting budgets to reflect and balance inequality in society.
The IMF is very actively engaging the membership on building capacity in finance authorities in economic policy, especially on the issue of gender-based budgeting, because when budgets change, then the economy does better. Over the last year of crisis, we have been relentless in pressing for this gender-based budgeting because of the pressing needs to come out of the crisis stronger.
Well, Microsoft has announced that it will be retiring its web browser, Internet Explorer.
Exactly. It's the end of an era, although probably no one will be sad to see this go. It's been essentially defunct for so long. Microsoft has been phasing it out for a while and has even been actively trying to get people not to use it for security reasons. Its glory has faded from going from monopolizing the market in the early noughties to now, where it currently holds less than 5% of the browser market. Now, the news was met with jokes online. One person said, RIP Google Chrome downloader. You will always be remembered. There you go. We only ever opened it to download Google Chrome.
I do remember the icon, the little E on my desktop, which I never click anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Catherine. Catherine Bennett with a look at some of the business news.